Welcome to the Flying High Club in association with the World Aviation Festival, Lisbon 2025. This series in Lisbon is brought to you and powered by Swiper, the digital payment platform which works in managing disruption and airline compensation. Swiper is smart, seamless, and built for the future of air travel. You'll find more information in the link below and the comments section. Thank you to Swiper for supporting the Flying High Club at Lisbon 2025. Enjoy the episode. Welcome everyone to the World Aviation Festival in Lisbon 2025. You're here with the Flying High Club. We're delighted to be here as the official podcast partner 2025. And we are bringing you the guests, the people that are making a difference in this industry. And we're delighted today to be inviting someone who's going to talk to us about loyalty and talking about coming from one of the biggest airline groups there is in terms of the Emirates group. So I'm sure everyone in some way, shape or form is involved when it comes to loyalty, whether it's your groceries, whether it's your airline miles, or whether it's your hotel stays. Some way, shape or form where we are engaged with loyalty. And today we're going to delve into that, understand it from a travel perspective. And what better way to hear that from someone with a career spanning across that and working at the Emirates Group. So without further ado, Dr. Nejib Ben Khedher as the Divisional SVP of Skywards. So welcome, Doctor. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for the invite.
Yes.
Indeed, loyalty is a very emotional topic, and every time I'm on the radio talking about it, we've got a lot of the listeners just sending messages and asking questions about, the latest experience in terms of getting an upgrade on aircraft.
Right.
It's absolutely emotional, but that's what makes it extremely exciting as well.
Tell us more about yourself, your career, where you are, what you're doing.
So I've been in the travel industry, airline and travel industry for about 35 years now, spanning jobs with Sabre, American Airlines Decision Technologies when I first started working in the industry, to today working for the Emirates Group as a head of loyalty. But before that, when I joined Emirates, I joined as a deputy CIO, supporting more the technology across the whole group.
Okay, great. So talking about World Aviation Festival, while we're here, you're on a lot of panels here talking and discussing loyalty. But why do you think conferences like the World Aviation Festival is so important? And what would be your advice for people that are coming to this festival, what they can take away?
It's a forum where we really industry experts come from all over the world. The networking aspect of it is extremely important, but also listening. I would say with all humility to what others are going through. Sometimes it's good to feel that the challenges that you're facing are also faced by other
Yeah.
peers and colleagues in the industry, and seeing their points of view as well. Listening to some of the partners talk about what they're doing, especially the technology partners as well. So I came here a long time ago, more from the technology side as a supplier, and now I'm coming in as more of a customer of these partners. But it's again a great forum to network, but also to listen to what's going on in the industry in general.
Yeah, great opportunity to get the industry pulse, as we call it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
great. So you talk about tech there. What's the innovation that is most exciting you right now?
So a lot of talk about modern airline retailing in particular. And I mean, of course, AI is underpinning a lot of the discussions that we're having today, especially here on the loyalty side of things, when we talk about personalization in particular. So for me, modern airline retailing, which goes beyond the loyalty aspect of it, but where loyalty can play a big role, because a lot of it is around personalization. A lot of it is about building ecosystems and engaging with customers much more than on the flight only, but expanding it to ancillaries and expanding it even beyond that. So for me, listening to what the airlines are going through right now in terms of their thinking, but also what the vendors or the technology partners are also thinking about as well in terms of how they're going to be building the system of the future. This is going to be a game changer for the industry.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, the discussions are starting to mature,
Yeah.
and we're starting to see some use cases coming out. But from me, from just a loyalty perspective, I think we are at the core of it, and it's important for us to get plugged into everything that's happening. Of course, I'm also here, to listen to what my peers in the loyalty industry are doing on this topic, but other topics as well, especially on personalization.
Perfect. Yeah, no, personalization seems to be a big part of loyalty at the moment. So let's delve into Skywards, a well-known program associated with Emirates, and obviously your congratulations on 25 years
Thank
of
you.
the Skywards program. But I would say what makes it different or unique to other global airline loyalty schemes?
You use the word global, and I say we are the truly global loyalty program. And I explained myself, we have 37 million members today. By the way, in our first year of existence, we're celebrating our 25th year anniversary. We onboarded 76,000 members. Now we're onboarding 78,000 a week.
Wow.
So that's how the program has grown. But again, 37 million members, but less than truly, less than 7% of those are actually in our home base. A lot of loyalty programs focus a lot on their home base.
Yes.
That's where their strength is. And then, of course, support, most of these global airlines are global by nature, and therefore they have a global base. But ours is 93% global. I mean, our largest member base is the UK, nearly 5 million members. The second largest is the US with 4.3 million members. And if I go, I mean, the UAE is at par with India and with Australia and with about 2.4 million members. So just to tell you,
Yeah.
when we talk about being global, we're truly global, and our member base crosses all continents. We're actually present in 190 countries.
Yeah.
And our top 10 come from the 5 continents.
So obviously, look, there are a lot of ingredients to that. But why do you think that is? Why do you think, as you say, so many people living outside of the UAE? Yes, you're a connecting carrier,
Yeah.
But what do you think is driving that? When they have choice, of course, they
Yeah.
have choices.
Yeah, of course. And then, by the way, I mean, we are at the image of the airline.
Yep.
We're actually, I would just say, even take it beyond. We're at the image of Dubai.
Yeah.
So Dubai is a hub, but it's also a destination
Yeah.
for a lot of nationalities. We're both, we have people who are residing there, but also people who are flying to us and people who are staying over as well, and people who are visiting. So when we have people from all over the world. And therefore, the attractiveness of the program comes from the attractiveness of Emirates as a carrier with the strong brand that we know of, one of the most recognized brand in the airline industry in the world, the most recognized brand, one of the most recognized also brand in general as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So the airline is a magnet, Dubai is a magnet, and therefore we are the image of both the airline and Dubai as well. Of course, the program itself and the way it has matured over the years, we started as a frequent flyer program, and that's the first 10 years of our existence
Yes.
was about that. In 2015, we moved into becoming more of a lifestyle program. We onboarded so many partners. We went beyond flight into curating experiences for people in the travel space and then even beyond. And we cater to, of course, the frequent travelers, but we also cater to the infrequent travelers who, once in 2 years flies internationally and goes from the UK to the Maldives, or from UK to South Africa, or from France to Mauritius. So for those, we want to be relevant as well. So whenever they're thinking about that international travel, whenever they're thinking about visiting some of these destinations, we come top of their mind. And the program is creating that anchor in some way and trying to make sure that, the second time they're thinking about this, they're also flying with Emirates.
Yeah.
As I said, we're blessed to be part of Emirates, and the airline does wonders for us and does the magic. By the way, once you experience Emirates, you want to stay loyal to
It's very
Emirates,
difficult, yes.
and we're here to just make sure that that's happening.
Fantastic. That's a really nice way to sum that up. You talk about, as again, we started using the word loyalty actually, but you're saying actually now this is a lifestyle platform.
Yes.
Yeah. So how has that evolution taken place? Did you feel like it's been an organic process, or actually did you see the pivot? You mentioned, for example, Dubai itself
Yeah.
being potentially a catalyst for that.
Yeah.
How's
No,
that
I
evolution
said
taking place?
Dubai and Emirates, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the growth of Dubai, the growth of Emirates as well has helped us with growing at the pace we're growing as well. The program has tripled in size from 2015 to 2025. That's when we made that shift from being an FFP, a frequent flyer program, to becoming a lifestyle program. What the lifestyle program brings is the fact that we are relevant to you in your everyday life. So we're not just relevant to you when you fly with us once a year, once 2 years. And when I'm talking about that long tail of infrequent travelers, we're actually relevant to you on a daily basis. And that goes for our home base, but also for others as well. We could not make ourselves relevant if it were not for expanding the partnership ecosystem. We first expanded it in the travel category. So with the work we're doing with Marriott, for example, we have a strategic partnership with them, but also with Accor and others in the hotel space, car rentals, and then took it beyond the travel ecosystem into the daily life. So, platforms like Skywards Every Day, for example, that has hundreds of retail partners in Dubai, again, where you can be rewarded for engaging with these partners, whether you're a resident or a visitor. The program has democratized earn in some way. So basically, there are many more ways, whether it's financial partnerships, co-brand, or some of these partnerships I've just talked about. We've democratized the earn, and we made also the burn much more accessible. We used to cater to the top 3% members who are frequent flyer members. Those are the ones who could afford the upgraded classic rewards. With the introduction of Cash Plus Miles, whereby from the first mile you earn, you can redeem it on a flight and get a discount on a flight, we democratize the burn as well. With that said, I would just say that explains why we're relevant to this 37 million members, even though the top premium members represent less than 2% of that base, but we stayed exclusive when it comes to tier status. So that we're providing that aspirational experience for those members who truly engage with the airline, at
the core of the business. Okay.
Of course.
Fantastic. Okay. And like you said, it's a constantly evolving platform, as you say, and especially when you're looking at it from a lifestyle perspective. What's the most innovative partnership that Skyward has launched in your mind, or is there something coming along the line that you might be able to share with us?
Well, there's always, we're in movement. Obviously, you don't triple in size and grow at the pace we grow. If we were not, we kept innovating and bringing new products in place. We were the first program to introduce first travel program that introduced a subscription, and that's our Skywards Plus subscription program. But there are a couple that for me, kind of helped us crystallize a little bit what I've talked about in terms of the everyday. Skywards Everyday, as its name says, is about everyday. What it did is, from a member perspective, made it very seamless, because you link your credit cards, and basically you go into any of our retail shops, as in partner shops, and then you're basically earning the miles in a very seamless way. You just by linking your card. So we made it very, very easy from that standpoint, but we also made it very easy to onboard partners. We used to take 6 to 8 months for us to onboard any partners into the program, and mostly due to a lot of integration work that needs to be done. We've simplified that to a point where we're basically within 6 weeks you can join this platform, because there's very little integration that's being done with you or your point of sale. We're basically with this credit card linking, but also simplifying the integration with the partners. We can onboard more partners. So today we have 1,200 outlets in Dubai, more than 400 brands that are on this platform. So that changed the velocity by which we can bring partners in, and also simplify the experience for our members in a domain that is not core to us. So that's I would just say some of the innovation we brought in. Skywards Exclusives, which is our platform, the experience platform, that is not, again, about flights, but where people can use their miles or bid their miles for experiences. And the partnership that basically helped us with scale is because we used to have like 40, 50 events that we were curating to our members, mostly around sponsorships. We sponsor the likes of Arsenal, Real Madrid, etc., and we're offering people the ability to go and watch these games, etc. But we took it to a different level when we partnered with the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai. And basically there is 1 to 2 events a week that's happening, and partners, and we also have a VIP suite where you can have the Emirates hospitality on the ground, watching some of your best performers, and then you're basically redeeming miles, but it's also affordable from a redemption of miles perspective. We're talking about 7,000 to 10,000 miles redeemed. So those partnerships kind of changed the game for us and gave us that scale um,
And that's fantastic because, as you know, the age-old loyalty challenge with airlines was I can't burn my miles.
Yeah.
You give me these miles, I can't use them, and it sounds like a very innovative way promoting, trusted partners that
Yeah.
are providing experiences that you would want to associate with, and again, giving them that hospitality on the ground is
It's
frankly, a genius way of doing it.
It's
Right?
an emotional connection with the brand. Again, it goes back to that. And then, but just on the redemption side, you're so right. More than 80%, 85% of the redemption continues to be on flights. And these are the most aspirational redemptions that people are seeking. And we are working closely with all our colleagues within Emirates to ensure that that is still continues to be accessible, and we have the availability. We're one of the few airlines that allow you to get an upgrade at check-in and even on board
Yeah.
and to the last minute. And that again helps our members redeem their miles. 40% of the miles are redeemed on upgrades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, it's funny. Upgrades has been a theme today. We've had some startups on earlier as well, and that was exactly the conversation. Is that elusive conversation? My background is airline operations. How do I get an upgrade? And actually, it's these different measures, right? Like the opportunities. Like there will be an opportunity, right, which is fantastic. Right the way
Yeah.
till you're on the aircraft. Not
Exactly.
everyone can offer
There are seats available. It's offered to our members. You just have to have enough miles.
that.
And we go back into the
Yeah.
it's the virtuous flywheel of loyalty, right?
Yeah.
You earn more, you travel better.
Yeah.
You earn more, you travel better.
So how do you measure the impact of Skywards beyond just miles flown?
Yeah.
What I think you've talked about experiences, how they can be used, but how do you measure the impact?
I mean, for us, we're obviously focused on supporting the airlines. And I say the airlines is because we're the loyalty program of both Emirates and Fly Dubai as well. So the commercial KPIs that we have are the most important for the program and core to the program. So everything else we do in terms of creating the stickiness and the loyalty and stuff, it's about supporting the airlines from a commercial standpoint. So really, the contribution of Skywards members to the total commercial revenue, which hovers around between 50 and 54%, that tells you something. As a matter of fact, our premium members, so silver and above, represent 12% of the OND passengers, but nearly 1/4 of the total revenue. So it just tells you, and that's because they have higher yield, they fly the premium cabins, etc. And it's important for us to so one of the measurement is the premium yield that is brought by Skywards members versus non-Skywards members. We again hovering around 55 to 60%. So just those are important. So the quality of people we're bringing into the program and how they are loyal to the program as well. I mean, anecdotally, you hear people just saying, I took an extra flight simply to just keep my status,
Yes,
or
exactly.
or I bought this
Music to
higher
your
fare
ears.
so that I can keep my status because there's more miles or more status miles that you receive. So yeah, so it's doing that for the airline. So that's our main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, you've already done so much in terms of moving from traditional airline miles to the lifestyle program. Where do you see loyalty programs heading in the next 5 years? What's on the horizon? What do you see beyond just Emirates?
Yeah, I think we've been, as a loyalty program, we've introduced a lot of innovation, as I mentioned, especially on the partnership side of things. We're creating these platforms where we can interact with partners and members. But still, when it comes to the pure loyalty product, if you will, which is the status and how you can status, we've been extremely, not just Emirates Skywards, but the industry in general has been very static. It's basically tiers. Either it's revenue based or miles based, and you get it and you hit it, then you move to the next tier, etc. Now the idea with personalization, and everybody thinks about personalization is mostly about the communication. How do we personalize that? That's a given. And now with the advent of some of these tools available to us, AI, etc., it just made simpler and simpler for us to do that. As a matter of fact, the first one-to-one personalized email we had was for the 25th anniversary.
Yes.
Just talking to our members, talking about their journey with Skywards over the last 25 years. Yeah, we have more than 10,000 versions that were used to cater to these members or to engage with them. So put that aside. How do we personalize status whereby it becomes a la carte? And because giving you baggage allowance or giving you lounge access may mean something to you, but not to the other gold members.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. They may need other things. So how do we make it an a la carte? How do we create a continuum of benefits whereby you're unlocking benefits as you go? So you're not waiting, when you're silver and you're seeing that gold is double of that, is going to take you a long time, you give up. We want you to continue to engage even though you're out. So we're creating a continuum of benefits as we go. Now, the trick to that is easy to said. Obviously, you need the technology that supports that.
Yeah.
But so how you come from operations, you know that you guys are the ones who are fulfilling the promise of the loyalty program. And therefore, it is important for us to work with our colleagues to make sure that we can fulfill that promise as well from a operational standpoint.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think, like you said, in this pure essence of it, that personalization can feel like a headache on the ground, right? Because you're like, how do I tailor that? But
Yeah.
as you say, the more and more of the tools that can help us to
Technology
simplify
is
that.
extremely important to enable that to happen at touch points
Yeah.
when we're dealing with our members.
Okay, sounds like a fascinating job that you've got going on at the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So one question we always get is when you're trying to understand how these programs work. You gave a great example there of the Coca-Cola Arena and your ground experience. How does that work for the partner? Yes, there's an association with Emirates. I could see that.
Absolutely.
But, I might be giving up 3 seats that I could sell.
Yeah.
Why am I going to give them to Emirates? Why am I going to associate myself? What are the reasons?
Wait, the association with Emirates is big.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to where the product of the airline, and the brand being so strong and etc. We're just an element that bring it to life for partners and others as well. So I think that association is extremely important. Again, especially with a brand like ours, but earn burn with retention with partners is also about creating a footfall for them.
Yeah.
Whether on the earn side because people are incentivized to go and engage with this partner, or on the burn side whereby we have people using Skywards miles as a currency. It's a digital currency.
Yeah.
To go and buy those services or get the discount. I mean, actually, one of the best examples is Dubai Duty Free for us.
Yes.
Which is part of the travel ecosystem and caters to those members who are flying through Dubai. And still, nearly 60% of the people who are flying on us are connecting through Dubai. So we're basically, for the people who are flying or Skywards members, the miles that they have accumulated have value for them to go and buy that gift, for their loved ones and etc. As they're traveling. So, and it could be that you have a choice sometimes where you're buying these things, but the fact that miles gets you this
Drives.
gets extra footfall in the Dubai Duty Free and people buying more. So, our partners measure the incremental impact, and most are extremely happy about what they're seeing. It's we've got to. Basically, we have so much to communicate about. Sometimes we're not communicating enough.
Yes.
And we're putting somewhat the burden on our partners to just do that a bit more. And then, but once the communication is there, and that's, by the way, the other element is an access to an audience. 37 million members, global, a lot of them also flying through Dubai or to Dubai. And therefore we can support, we can support that as well. Can support the economy. We can support,
Is there an aspiration? You talked about digital currency there, without going down a rabbit hole. But these miles are obviously becoming of considerable worth. And your job is to make them more valuable to an individual.
Yes.
Is your view that you want to develop that further? So potentially, I'm not saying we replace the dirham or the pound, but there is an element of you creating an ecosystem where you have your own currency.
Great question, Suhail. And I think, loyalty miles or airline miles represent the third largest currency in terms of reserve after the dollars and the euro, I think. It's just so it's interesting. But from our standpoint, we look at it as a digital currency that supports the Dubai economy. And you can think of it as actually the loyalty currency of Dubai. Much more than the airline itself, because again, it's a currency that has value for you, whether you're a visitor, somebody who's connecting in Dubai, or somebody who's residing in Dubai as well. We joke sometimes. We say it's the happiness currency of Dubai because Yeah, it's a digital currency. By the way, Dubai also is driving very hard on this whole cashless
Yes, yes,
economy,
absolutely.
and this fits somewhere because we are a digital currency, and de facto there is no physical,
Yes.
aspect of it. It's just very digital as well. So it is, yeah. We want to make sure that it's also an aspirational currency, so it's not commoditized
Yes.
to a point where, and that's where loyalty programs, airline loyalty programs, and travel loyalty programs are aspirational in nature, and they need to keep that aura around their currency, where
Yes.
people sometimes perceive the value beyond what it is exactly
Yes. Yeah.
that they're getting, because the way you value that upgrade,
Yeah.
the classic reward when you're taking a trip with a family,
Yeah.
staying at a hotel, etc., where you can pay with your miles or point. It gives those a higher valuation than the fiat currency that we're used to. But
Yes.
again, so we don't have the hype of crypto, but
No, 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 no. But
we're a
you're right,
digital
right? Yeah, I
currency.
mean, I could talk about myself, my summer holiday to Paris, and being able to convert my points. Yeah, in my mind, I'm playing. I wouldn't be able to stay in this hotel at this rate in the middle of the summer.
Yeah,
So, of course, depending on when, where, all those good
of
things.
course,
But actually, for me, that created a lot of value. And like
absolutely.
you said, it's
And that's
that
sticking.
it's that allure. And you
Yeah,
think, okay, great,
yeah, yeah,
I need to build more.
yeah.
Which is the
That-
music to your
By
ears.
the way, if you don't do it, your family is going to ask you to do it.
True. I did made that mistake.
Fly
I'm like,
more,
well,
stay more, collect those points. We need them.
perfect. No. So that's great. Fantastic. Thank you for your openness and sharing your expertise when it comes to loyalty.
Yeah.
We now move on to the flight path, which is your flight path. We like to talk to you about yourself. So,
Sure.
Dr. Najib, what's been your proudest career moment so far?
So if you look at my career is not very linear. I mean, the one common thread is the fact I've been in aviation and in the travel industry as well.
Yes.
It actually started with my master's in transport in air transportation. Then I got my master in robotics and advanced systems, mostly working on aeronautics. And then I went to a PhD in operations research. But at the time, I moved away a little bit from aviation, but because aviation has been the biggest consumer of operations research, I ended up being at American Airlines working in aviation, and since then I've just been in aviation all my life, as I mentioned earlier. But I am proud of a lot of the transform, and I've built a reputation of being more of a transformation leader, because I've taken on, while staying within the same industry, I've taken on different jobs, very different in nature. To a point, I call myself an imposter whenever I get into a new job, like
Yeah.
loyalty, for
Yeah.
example. But I've graduated now. I've been 10 years with Skywards, so
Yeah, I think
I can say I'm not an
yeah.
imposter anymore.
Yeah.
So, but the transformation agent. So I come in and try to just change a little bit the course of whatever business I have taken on. So I have a lot of these, but the one probably proud moment goes back to a long time ago, probably 30 years back, 1997, receiving the Franz Zillerman Award for the best applications of operations research. And at the time, it was taking a model that I've developed for American Airlines to SNCF, the French rails.
Yeah.
So in totally different industry, taking the same model that was around revenue management and capacity allocation to that, and then winning an award,
Yeah.
a recognition, which was the highest recognition in the operations research. So it takes me back 30 years
Yeah.
from now.
Well, yeah, no,
But again, I have fond memories of every transformation I've done and the results out of it.
but you talk about so very much, and it's very evident. Yes, a transformation agent. I love that. What does that entail? Because as you say, you walk in,
Yeah,
there's a culture, there's a way of doing things.
exactly.
Everyone wants to talk about what
Yeah.
to do next,
Yeah.
but you've clearly demonstrated an ability to go in and make those things happen. What are the kind of key traits to that, if you don't mind sharing with us?
So well, this is a preview to my book. It's coming when I retire,
Yeah.
which is few years from
Yes.
hopefully.
Yeah.
So I have few years to give. But truly, and I'm not saying this in any patronizing way, or truly is clarity of purpose when you go in. So first, humility. You walk into a new industry, as I mentioned, you listen to the people who have been there. Okay. Sometimes they face challenges, the ideas out there, they just face challenges, and your job is to like really work on removing those challenges or helping the organization grow as well. But while you listen to them, it crystallizes in your mind what is the clarity, to provide the clarity of purpose. And the clarity of purpose is something that is so important because that is your North Star that you are to create. And this is where the second element is people. People embracing those objective or strategic objectives you're setting. And the extremely important in any transformation, you cannot do it on your own. It's all about keeping and attracting the right people and getting them to embrace what you're doing and getting them excited about that and them becoming owners of that strategy, breathing that strategy on a daily basis and driving it with energy.
The change
Etc.
agents, yeah.
So the level of engagement, and I mean, we run a Skywards a loyalty program, so we talk a lot about member engagement. It's about your people engagement. And creating that is, and that whole dynamics that you create with your team, the chemistry, etc. So when you tell me, and I go back to my proud moments are not about me meeting certain KPIs, tripling the size of a business, multiplying by 7, one of the businesses that I've took over, etc. It's about the people that and the legacy that I've created in creating those teams, creating, that talent, and then growing that talent, developing it, etc. So that's what really you're proud of.
And that will be really encouraging to our listeners, right? Because I think it's a common theme with strong leaders, Dr. Nejib, that actually, like you said, the fulfillment comes through seeing those people grow and becoming those advocates.
That's the most fulfilling part of your job as a transformation leader.
Yeah. And actually, I think I love the fact you talk about the clarity and purpose. It's something so simple, but what is it we're trying to do?
Yeah.
Can I explain it in a few words rather than having to put together PowerPoint presentations and are those people able to take that conversation and say the same thing? I always use a measure. If I can tell my dad, if he gets it, then it must be able to.
By the way, in the most extreme cases of transformation I've done, I usually tell the team the stories of the Navy SEALs, because the Navy SEALs take on these big missions.
Yes.
And the one thing that, first of all, they all depend on each other.
Yes.
And the team needs to have a sense of purpose that's the mission that they're taking on and what they're driving to. And all of them, in whatever action they're taking, needs to support that mission or that objective. And they need to work together to be able to achieve that mission. So, that is the example that I use in terms of the importance of the team coming together and the importance of the clarity of the purpose. So that it's in everybody's mind.
Yes.
Regardless what level you are in the organization.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Really good. Okay, so now
I'm very talkative. I'm so sorry for running this.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm just making sure we don't get you late for anywhere you've got to be. But now talking about advice, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
It was I think somebody who told me, not somebody, it was actually the president of our company, and I was getting, the next levels and being promoted, etc., at a very senior level. And he told me this, that you need to look around you with all your peers. If you want to become one day, just think of them as the ones who are voting for you to be promoted to the next level and they're reporting to. So that makes you think about, how do I engage with my peers? Of course, with all the humility and engage with them in a way whereby I'm respecting what they're doing, I'm working with them, I'm collaborating with them, and etc. So that when the day comes where they have to all decide on who gets to the next level, they're voting for you.
Yeah.
So that's one that stayed with me and every time I engage with peers, and I'm thinking about, how do I make sure that I'm building that strong link with them?
Well, it's a beautiful way of actually getting around the fact that people sometimes often focus on the what rather than the how.
Yeah.
And actually, as you say, that approach, that humility, it's one of the big things what we try and do on these series is actually that, the people sitting across us, very accomplished, could become quite intimidating. PhD, double master. But that's the point. We want to break down those barriers, that actually the humility behind that. And actually, it's those soft skills that have probably brought you to where you are today. Alongside
it is. Absolutely, you're so right. We get to where we are at the beginning of our career because of our technical expertise, those diplomas that we have gathered, and sometimes I wonder why I had to go through so many of them, because the first one would have worked extremely well. I guess I didn't know what job to take. But anyways, it's just the soft skills are so important as you grow into the leadership. whether it is your team, your peers,
Mm.
your managers. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, I want to talk about crossroads in moments.
Yes.
So, in terms of what's been the most defining crossroad in your career, because you have like you said, you were working with tech
Yeah.
providers. You had American Airlines at one point. There will be times throughout your career where there was crossroads to make those kind of
Yeah.
tough decisions.
If I think about it, truly the biggest crossroad was when I took on the challenge of Travelocity as the COO and managing director of Travelocity in the US as well, online travel agency that was facing a lot of challenges with new competitions coming in. I mean, as you're too young to know, but online travel agencies have
Yeah.
started really with American Airlines. We
Yes.
started, Travelocity was the first one to do that on the e-commerce side for airlines. But then other players came in and changed the game. So I was tasked with the turnaround. So I say it's a crossroad because all my career has been in B2B.
Yes.
And this is the first time I go into B2C and in a massive turnaround, not a transformation. A
Yeah.
turnaround is you're given few months to ensure that
Yeah.
that the
Make this work.
business is healthy, and then you can keep on progressing from there. So first, it was a first experience as a turnaround, and second, it was a B2C world, which, by the way, explains why I am in loyalty today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because I've been in B2B all my life,
Yes.
and then this is a change that for me, an eye opener. How do you use the data? How do you engage with customers on a B2C level? Is very different from having 100 clients from a B2B standpoint. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, perfect. And then going back to your younger self, what would you say to the 25-year-old
Yeah.
Najib?
Well, so I said something around there. Don't think that your career can be linear.
Yes.
And then, if an opportunity knocks on your door, you just take it and then
Yeah.
learn from it. Even if you fail at it, learn from it
Yeah.
and move on
But
to the
failure is
next thing.
scary, Dr. Najib.
I know failure is scary for a lot of people, but without failure, sometimes we don't learn. These are the hardest lessons you can get are through some of these. Obviously, when you work for a brand like Emirates, you need to be careful about failure.
Yeah.
So we're not so
Failure we got
yeah,
it.
yeah, sometimes I don't take those risks, but that's the thing is for me is embrace some of these opportunities that come to you, and then you just walk into that.
And you're very clearly very passionate, not only about loyalty, but this industry. Why should someone join the aviation industry?
Well, you see this passion is it's all you have the same virus I have about aviation. We are here, and everybody around us probably have the same virus, and there is no cure for it. I'm
Yes.
just telling you. The more you go into it, the more you're. And I try to define, but for somebody who's, again, when I was a PhD in operations research, the biggest consumer of operations research was the airline. And at that time, we started, at American Airlines Decision Technologies, which had about 100 PhDs from the best universities in the US gathered together to think about some of these complex problems. The complexity of the problems that we have to handle in the airline industry are phenomenal. Whether on the resourcing side, we talk about crew rostering, for example, on flight and the complexity of disruption and how do you manage disruption. It is fascinating problems for any mathematical mind or somebody who likes data and etc.
Yeah.
And the technology as an enabler for our industry is also so important.
Yes.
So for somebody who has a technology background, a data background, a B2C customer experience background, this is the perfect industry to be in. But you have to start somewhere.
Yes.
And once you're in it, it is fascinating.
Yes.
It's not the most profitable business, even though, the last couple of years we've seen airlines make a bit more profit.
Everyone always remembers the good times, though, right? They only see when we do well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't see the difficulties. They don't remember COVID in the same way.
I would say with these difficulties come opportunities as well for us as an airline. And the airlines also have been extremely resilient. How many challenges did we have? Black swans and so and so. But we've always survived.
Yes.
And, it's just a fascinating world in general. A very complex one, but a very fascinating.
Yeah, I cannot agree with you more. And then looking forward, we're talking about people joining the industry, but you're looking forward. You're now almost, I think, I would say a guru when it comes to loyalty. Looking at what you've been involved in, what skills or experiences do you want to make sure there are going forward in the industry? What's your worry?
So there are two things. When I talk to my team, I talk about the Navy SEALs, but I always, and more and more I talk about this fusion of skills in terms of the people we want to bring in. And the fusion of skills is that not one skill is going to take you to the next place. So if you're a data scientist, we want you to be a storyteller as well.
Yes.
Right? Like, how do we bring this fusion of talent, whether in teams, where the teams need to bring those talents together, or in the people themselves. And today, the new job of the future, what AI is going to do to existing jobs,
Yeah.
it's something that up for grabs, and then for us to just kind of learn where we're going with this all new technology, etc. But you have to have that agility of mind to be able to do multiple things, not one thing at a time,
Yeah.
and to acquire multiple skills. You've just mentioned about the soft skills and the hard skills as well. Technical skills, but also good soft skills. You have to, and those probably will become more and more important as AI takes on some of the. Yes, exactly. So how do we make sure? And again, going back to the younger people who want to join, is keep that fusion in mind. To create something different than just I'm expert in this or expert in that. Yeah.
Okay. Great advice. Fantastic. We're going to move on to our quick fire rounds. Again, it's working well with our conversation. We'll ask some short.
You wore me out already. So I don't know how quick
I
this
can carry on. But the quick fire round is short, one-worded answers where possible. Just to, again, a bit of a playful segment to get to know you a bit better. But obviously, being in an airline, aisle or window?
You know what? Yesterday I flew on our game changer. All the seats are aisles, which I love an aisle seat, but I also love a window seat just to see the, to just to see through the, the landscape and etc. So yeah, the game changer, the 777 game changer on Emirates.
I like the plug. I like that plug.
Every seat is an aisle seat and a window seat.
Fantastic. I got the best of both. Chicken or beef?
Chicken.
Okay. Favorite airports? It cannot be Dubai.
Oh, you know what? I was not gonna say DXB, but I was gonna say DWC.
Okay.
Yeah. So Al Maktoum Airport that's coming, and hopefully in 6-7 years, is gonna be something else.
Yeah.
So just watch that. But today probably Shanghai.
Yeah. Common answer on the show.
Yeah.
Your first job in aviation?
My first job in aviation was with, wow, that takes me long time ago, more than 40 years. So 1980, 2 or 83. So yeah, wow, long time ago, 40 years ago. With Air Inter, which used to be the domestic airline in France that got absorbed by Air France.
Yes.
Working on the first spill and recapture model for the airline. So the spill model that I have then used in, at other locations, but this was, creating a mathematical model for spin on, for some of the routes. It was on the Paris-Nice route. I remember it very well.
Very fun memory. The biggest influence on your career?
You know what? I'm blessed to have worked under Bob Crandall at American Airlines, who's again seen as one of the icons there, but also working under Sir Tim Clark, who's the icon of today's aviation world. So they're big influencers, both of them. But the one that influenced me much, taking it to my level, is the person who hired me at American Airlines Decision Technologies. His name is Tom Cook, and he's the guy who's created a lot of the models that airlines run on today. But he's fascinating from an intellectual, inspirational person.
Fantastic. Well, that's quick chat.
It's a long answer.
Yeah, no. It's good. It's good. Your earliest aviation memory?
So I flew on a 727 when I was at aviation school. We had to have training on a flight. So you're doing all these instruments on the flights, etc. And we flew from Toulouse, where the school is, to Tozer in Tunisia, which is my home country, to Niger, to Niamey in Niger, to Dakar, and then back to Toulouse. And so we had to fly and use the instruments in there. So it was my a fond memory of that too, because we were also graded on that whole exercise. So there was a lot of anxiety during that.
I can imagine. Wow, what a memory.
Yeah.
Are you a lounge lizard or a last-minute dasher when you travel?
Knowing the Emirates lounges, I'm a lounge lizard. So yes, I'm sure.
And then one last thing. I mean, you've told us a lot about yourself, which is fantastic. You've been so open. But tell us something maybe our viewers don't know about you, a fun fact.
Fun fact, so I'm a novice when it comes to DJing, and I do DJing on ethnic house music, so Oriental house, but also African house, ethnic house in general. So at the start, my name is going back to Fusion is Dr. Fusion.
Oh, amazing.
And
Amazing.
Fusion is
Yeah.
Fuzen.
Fantastic.
Fusion.
Okay.
So Zen.
So is that a partnership
Zen
we
for
might
music.
see on Skywards soon? Do we go to a set with you?
Well, I mean, the team is pushing me to DJ for the 25th anniversary staff party.
Okay.
So let's see if
Okay, yeah.
if I'm ready for that.
We'll have to get a video with some sound of that, definitely, for sure. Fantastic. Okay. So look, fantastic conversation, Dr. Najib. Thank you so much for being so open, being so forthcoming, and really teaching us about loyalty beyond the miles. I think that still is something in the mind of everyone, but actually showing us that it goes beyond that. And actually, it's a great juncture with 25 years of Skywards, and I'm sure it will only go from strength to strength. And I'm sure they'll squeeze a few more years out of you and that transformation habit you have. So thank you again. The one last thing I'll ask you is if there's one thing you would like our viewers to take away from this conversation, what would it be?
I just talked about, being open to opportunities. We live in this VUCA world, it's very complex, volatile. And uh, this were ambiguous and uncertain to some extent. And that creates a lot of anxiety for people. And then what I'm saying is, you get in the aviation industry, we've beaten all these black swans, knock on wood, there won't be one soon. We're very resilient as an industry. And we have to look at challenges as opportunities as much as possible. So, the younger ones who are coming in, please don't have that anxiety. Just walk in, learn from the others. We're here also to build a legacy by giving back to everyone. Is just be open for the opportunities. Yeah.
Fantastic. No, a great message to end on. So, like I said, it's been a great conversation. Dr. Najib has been very open with us, telling us some really amazing stories. From piloting around Algeria, Tunisia, and Nigeria, to talking about how that platform that they've created and curated when it comes to the Skywards program has evolved and will continue to evolve. So, we thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Guys, if you want us to continue bringing you guests like this, you need to follow us. You need to like and comment on the socials so that we can make sure we can convince great people within the industry to come along and tell us more and share more with us. So with that, we end the podcast. So keep flying high, and we'll see you soon.
It was a pleasure, Suhail. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you to Swiper for supporting the Flying High Club at Lisbon 2025.